Hi, this is Lori with Remax Central, and I'm going to show you how to do a CMA in our matrix. First, what I'd like to do is get a photo of the front of the house if I don't already have one. For this particular purpose, I'm going to use a listing that I currently have. I'm pretending like I don't have the photo. So I'm going to put the property in Google, and we're going to take a snapshot of it with some software that's included on our Windows program. I think most of the computers come with it. I can help you figure out which program you have on yours if you want to do screenshots. Okay, so there's the front of the house. What I want to do now is the program is called Snipping Tool. I have it open right here. We're going to go ahead and snip and do a new one. We're going to say in 3 seconds, and then in a couple seconds it's going to pop up with this tool. We're going to draw a square, almost a square, of the house, front of the house. We're going to save it. And we're going to call this front. We already did some practice on this. We already have it, but just wanted to show you how we do this. Okay, so there we have the front photo already taken care of. For our cover sheet, we can close this down. Okay, now we're going into our matrix. And we're going to go into, before we go into the CMAs, we're going to get the information for the property under tax search. Okay, we're going to plug it in here. Okay, we've got one property search. Okay, get the information that we need. So when we do a CMA, we want to know the basics of the house. We're going to scroll down on the tax and we're going to look for the characteristics. Here we're going to see the year of the house, the square feet. It says 3 bedrooms, although I know this one happens to have 4 bedrooms, so they made a mistake there. It's an attached garage, 549 square feet. We know that is 2 from the photo. Central. Okay, so basically we have all the information that we need for the moment to do the CMA. Okay, and then we also want to get the APN number because we're going to automatically have all that information copied into the CMA. So we're going to copy that. Okay, and we're going to go back to our matrix, under My Matrix, My CMAs, and we're going to start a new CMA. And we're going to create a new contact if they're not already in here. We're going to say John and Maria Holmes. Okay. Okay, and we can save that. All right, and we're just going to say, we can just name it CMA, not a big deal. This is just for our reference. Okay, so we've got that already saved. So then we're going to go up here. We're going to go next to the pages. And I usually recommend before you start creating the CMA, and you may have to play around with it, to figure out what pages you actually want, because there's quite a bit of information here, and I think a lot of agents have a hard time explaining it. So I would suggest either maybe do that at the beginning to see what you want to add. I always include the map. We want the cover sheet with the photo now that we have the photo. Subject adjustments. I'm going to do a summary list. I'm not going to do price adjustments. That's another level that needs more time to understand and explain. It's almost like doing an appraisal, so we're not going to add that. We'll do minimums and maximums. We can do a days on the chart, days on the market chart, list price versus sale price, CMA brief. We'll try pro report and see what we think about that, and pricing recommendation. Okay, coming down here, you can look at some of the other things that are here. I will say benefits of using a realtor, market analysis explanation for the detailed folks, importance of pricing. Let's see, source of buyers. Again, you can choose whichever pages you want as long as you're able to go through and comfortably explain everything. I think that's good for now. Let's go ahead and move on from there. And the way we move on, we can go to the subject. Okay, so subject, we have the APN number copied from the text. We're going to go ahead and fill that in. That's a control for Windows. That's a control V to paste. And we're going to fill. Okay, so there we've got the beginning parts of the subject property. And now we have that photo that we just took, so we're going to go ahead and look for that on our desktop, which is where we saved it. So we have the photo. Okay, there we go. And then if you happen to know more about the house, you can update some of the information here because we're going to use this to compare with some of the other ones. We happen to know it's a 4-bedroom. Let's see what else we've got. Other information, we've got the square feet, the year built, there's no pool. We know it's a 2-car garage. There's no fireplace. Let's see. There's 3 baths, just about 3 full baths, 2 3/4. Okay, and if you, you can go ahead and put, if you have more information, you can put that. It doesn't make a difference because we're not going to do comparables from outside the state. Okay. All right, and then we have that there for now. Then we can go ahead and move. Let's see what the cover, it might show the cover there. Okay, so your information is already there. It should be if you're doing it the right way or if you've updated your profile information. And the picture of the house. And then there, you can put their address here if you want to. 6 Gallego. Probably have to look back at what I forget what the zip code is. Las Vegas, Nevada. You don't need to have a phone number. Okay, and then you can move on to comparables. So now this is where you're going to start to select similar houses in the area, and you're going to click on Add from Listings. Okay, there are different ways that you can choose comparable, so this takes some time. I did spend a little bit of time looking ahead, trying to get an idea just to try and make this seem a little bit easier. So there's going to be different things, different ways that you're going to do this depending on the type of property. Now, the property that we're talking about here is a newer property surrounded by older homes. So I may expand the area. I am probably going to do it by zip code to find as close as I can to houses that are similar to this one. So we'll make sure, I think automatically it defaults to choosing active and under contract. We're going to put sold, and again, this is choosing the listings we want to compare for the CMA. I also think it's helpful to understand ahead of time what the comparables are in the area so that when you're building the CMA, you can sort of choose the properties that seem like it fits what you feel is the right price, listing price for the house. Again, I can help with further clarification on that. For now, this is just sort of the mechanics of how to put this together. Okay, it's a single family home. Let's see, and we want 2-story because you don't want to compare single stories to 2 stories because we were told by an appraiser that you have to go outside of an area to compare single stories. So we're going to make sure that we choose 2-story. Okay, let's see here. And as I mentioned, for this particular purpose, I'm going to put in the zip code. Okay, and we know it's 3+ bedrooms. It was built in 2018, so I'm going to try 2015. Let's see, 2019, and see how we get. Maybe even go back another year and see how that goes. We know it's a 2-car garage. Living area, so it's 2,400 square feet. I think we sort of wrote down for the notes for this. So we're going to do, let's see, between 2,200 and let's do 20, give or take 26. Let's try 2,600. Okay. We've got 24 matches sold. Okay, let's see how we do with that. Let's look at the results. And we're going to organize this by the most recent closes. So we click on actual close until we get the most recent, and it's organized by most recent and gets older. Now it also shows how close the house is to this particular one. So we've got one that's a mile away. We've got one that's another mile away. That was 409. Let's see, try that one. That was 3 bedrooms. Then we've got a 420. sold, let's see, 2,300 square feet. There's a 389, which is kind of low. I know my seller wants to go a little bit higher. I think it should be higher. That's a 2019, so that's pretty low. Prices might have come down. January. Okay, so let's see. We're going to try this. We've got a 399 and a 404. Let's see, that's 2 miles away. I'd rather have the one that's closer to a mile away. Okay, and this particular one, you can actually see my listing. Again, we're using this for comparable purposes. It's 2,461 square feet, 4-bedroom, 2018. So we've got, I mean, we know that the market is sort of changing, and things, you know, that maybe started a little bit higher might be coming down a little bit. We can see some high threes here. Here's a, you know, 383, hoping that we can still kind of go a little bit, get a little bit more because the house has never been lived in. We've got one other one on the market at 400,000, 2016. That's a mile away. That seems on the lower side, but it's on the market. It's been on the market for 3 days, so that's going to be our competition. Here's another one that's 2 miles away. It's kind of far. Here's one that's a mile away at 420. Been on the market for 9 days. We've got this one under contract. Let's see, built in 2016. And again, we're looking at these based on sort of the numbers, trying to find the closest houses we can. We've got, let's see, another one at 400,000. That's just 1,000 square feet, but it's not 4-bedroom. So let's say we've got some 4 bedrooms. I tried to highlight as many 4 bedrooms as I could. Okay, so we've got a couple of actives. We're going to add all of those for now and see how we do. Okay, and then I'd like to put the solds first. So I'm going to organize them this way by clicking on actual close and put the close ones first so that we can see where those are. Okay, and then I'm going to click the box and add all of them. And we're going to add from listings and add these for our comparables for now. And again, we can always go back and adjust this if we need to. Okay, so then now we look at the map, and we know we try to choose the houses closest to it. Okay, so there's our subject property. They are a little further away, but we know they're close within a mile because we couldn't find any houses in that immediate vicinity, but that's not too bad. Okay, and adjustments. We're not going to, for this particular purpose, adjust because it is a little bit more complicated when you're adjusting for a bedroom. We're maybe talking about a few thousand or various different sizes of the houses. So we're not going to get into that right now, but you can see what this did for us was trying to choose the houses as carefully as we could. You know, we're probably at the high range, which is where we started with this listing. We've got a median at 406. We've got an average, and then we've got a low. We've got a really, really low one. Okay, and then pricing. So here, when we click on pricing, you know, we can look at the comps that we chose where we think the house is, have that discussion. We can go in where the median price is, and we can actually physically type here based on the comparables in the area. You know, we can say, and these are actually the notes, actually here's where the suggested list price is. So we can suggest this. So we know, again, we can look at the references here, the low, the median, average, and high. So if we wanted to suggest that, you know, the median is sort of, we see just as many properties above as we do below, but to be more aggressive with pricing and see how we do since the house has never been lived in, and it is a specialty property since it does have a rooftop deck. Suggested list price, suggesting to list this home on the higher side close to 420 based on condition and roof top deck. Okay, and again, you know, we're assuming that we haven't seen the house yet, but we know this maybe by, you know, the owner telling us it's a rooftop deck, certain things like that. Okay, so we're gonna use that, and then we're going to finish. Okay, and then there we have our CMA. So you can save it with the little disc right here, save CMA. I think it just saves it. Okay, and then you can view your CMA. And we did choose quite a few pages. Again, the good news is you can go back and edit it after you view it and it looks like maybe there's too much information that might be confusing. You may have to practice your presentation, before going over it with the client. Okay, and actually on this particular one, I did put the map first. I may have to go back and change that. So we want that cover page. So we're going to close this, and we're going to go back and edit, because I think that it puts the pages in order of how you do it. Okay, view, and let's see, edit. We're going to go back to pages, and we're going to put that cover sheet. Let's see if we can just move that cover sheet up. Okay, let's try that and see how that looks. We'll do finish, and then we can do view CMA, make sure it flows right. So you can go back, like I said, and edit the different pages and see if it flows a little bit better. Again, the cover sheet should have been first, and I just clicked on the wrong one. Okay, and then there's our cover sheet with the picture of the house. It shows the houses that we used, and it gives the addresses. It gives some analysis summary of comparable listings, and it does exactly the same thing. It shows the low, median, average, and high. Okay, and it gives you the list, and this analysis can be summarized as follows: 3 to 4 bedrooms, 2 to 3 full bath, half bath, the basic square feet, which is pretty close, the price per square foot. Again, we are listing on the higher side since the house has never been lived in and it has a rooftop deck. Number of days on the market. So we can see if we want to go back and compare that this one's been on the market for a really long time. So depending on how this compares to the interior of this one, you'll have to further advise them on the price. Then here's another brief summary of compared listings, and then sort of the overview of each of the properties that we chose based on description. Okay, and now you have a really nice report. Again, you can go back and edit out the pages that you don't like. But I think for now we've got a really great CMA, and we can save it. We can email the CMA to ourselves, or send it to our clients. Okay, if you have any questions, as always, you can always let me know, and we can go over it specifically for your property. Thanks.